I am so excited for tonight. The phrase that Susie and I use with our kids, I think I've mentioned here before, it's nervous-sighted. I'm nervous and excited. And I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, God, what happens if Michigan loses? What happens if they get this far and it doesn't happen? I'm just not going to do that because in the history of this program, literally the first story that we covered with regularity in the fall of 2014 when we came on the air in this studio on the old Audience Network on DirecTV was, is Jim Harbaugh going to leave the San Francisco 49ers? And if so, is it at all possible he could come back to Michigan and help save that program in the same way that he turned the 49ers around and took them to the Super Bowl? And everybody was telling me that ain't happening. That ain't happening, Rich. And I kept talking about it. How many people came on the show and said that's not happening? Multitudes.
All of them.
Oh, right. And then he did, and then here we are. Yep. It took, what, 9 years? But we're finally playing for the national championship. Michigan is going to tee up a football against the University of Washington tonight. And again, I'm taking my alma mater's point of view here. Washington is another 14-0 team in this game. That could be the better 14-0 team. We'll find out. They could be a team of destiny, as they believe that they are, with this remarkable quarterback-coach combination that Washington fans should be in love with. And I will be talking about a ton of Washington players at the Combine and the draft in the same way I believe I'll be doing from my alma mater. So I'm just taking my own point of view that I cannot believe I woke up today and Michigan is teeing up a football tonight for the national championship. And and the right to claim tonight that they are, in fact, leaders and best, like the fight song says. That's what I cannot believe, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it, even if I wind up unhappy by the end of the night. And I may have to remind myself of this, and my wife and children will be around to remind me of that throughout the game when I'm up and pacing and doing my usual business when Michigan plays an all-important football game. And I don't know how this feels because Michigan's never played for the national championship. 97, when it was on SportsCenter as a 27-year-old, 28-year-old. I mean, that was against Ryan Leaf's Washington State Cougars. And we knew if they won, it would just be an argument in who thought Michigan was better than Nebraska and vice versa. Tonight, there's nothing to answer. And I came on this set when all the Connor Stallions crap was happening. And all of that stuff was happening. And it's still people are talking about it. There was a Yahoo story with 3 unnamed people that was put out there over the weekend saying how this is a travesty and a sham and a mockery of the NCAA, as if the NCAA doesn't make that themselves. But be that as it may, it's going to be out there. It's out there on this national championship weekend leading to Monday, all the Connor Stallion stuff. I said the one avenue through all of this morass for the Wolverines was to win every last game on its schedule. And they have done exactly that up until this point, and we will find out tonight. And it would be glorious to actually have that mission accomplished tonight. That's my 2 cents. And I don't. If it's Harbaugh's last game, either way, what a time this year was. In the last 3 years, the previous 5 were trying on occasion, but we've gotten to this point, and I do believe the coaching staff's to a point where he could hand it off to them, and they could keep it going, or he stays. Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, he's won 78% of his games in Michigan. Like, he's been a rousing success.
I would agree.
He got you guys back to national relevance, which you hadn't been for a while.
Well, I mean, what we are right now is living in a world where Michigan is the dominant team in the Big Ten, the dominant team in the Michigan-Ohio State series, and potentially the champion of the sport by the end of the night, playing for it. And I would have signed to live in that world for 1 year, not alone 3, when Jim signed on the dotted line for the first time with Michigan 9 years ago. So I got through that. I'm trying to avoid the subject matter because every time I think about it, I mean, honestly, I have been sleeping well the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the melatonin.
Is it the wine?
So nerves check is high right now.
Nerves check is, I'm nervous-sided. I'm nervous and excited together.
You're excited.
Yeah.
And I know you wanted to do a watch party where maybe I call the Roku guys and say, how about watch me, watch the game?
Watch us watch the game.
First of all, I'm not that Truman Show type of guy where I need to be on camera all the time.
The fans love
plus,
it.
I don't want that version of me to be seen. I mean, there's versions of me where I'm yelling at television sets, yelling at officials, cursing. I don't need to be that.
Oh, okay. All right.
In front of others. You've really never seen that version of me either. And you've been around me a lot over the last 15 years.
Yeah.
You've never seen that version of me.
I've never actually watched a huge important game with you.
Well, because I don't have them. Honestly, I don't have them.
Right.
Where I learned in the Rose Bowl in my senior year for the regular season game against UCLA that I covered that year in Bo's final season, that last game where Michigan lost to USC when Bo called for a fake punt that worked and then got negated by a penalty that is, I think, fraudulent to this day. But I learned in the press box, you cheer, you're out. I swear.
Yeah.
I learned that senior year when I was in the Michigan press box. You cheer, you're out. So I have kind of removed myself watching games because on SportsCenter for all those years, and the Yankees and the Michigan football team, and on occasion the Jets will get me riled up when the Jets don't patently disappoint me. So, when was the last time Michigan played important games? In the first 5 years of Harbaugh's era, and then Brady Hoke and Rich Rod, you haven't been around me.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And, I was, New Year's Eve, we were separate. Certainly, I wasn't going to be around you with Georgia. That would have been done anyway within about 5 minutes. And then last year at TCU, I was at the game, so I was around other people, which means I had to act, and my 11-year-old at the time, son.
Yeah, you set an example.
Act like
I had to be right, and he was getting upset, and I wanted to show him that it's just a game. But deep down inside, I was cursing.
I can feel it.
So that's tonight. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.